I am Rosalind Yukich from A Little R&R, and today we are with my mom. She is a fabulous pie maker, and she has one of the best hacks ever for making a pie. And I can definitely tell you that this is probably the best information that you'll ever get on how to make a perfect pie crust because she taught me what she does to make a great pie crust. And I can tell you that I've been doing what she does, and my pie crusts have been completely revolutionized. So you're going to want to watch this video all the way through, get her hacks, get her ideas, take her advice, put it to good use because, with the holidays coming up, Thanksgiving and Christmas, you definitely want to impress your guests with a great flaky pie crust that is so easy to make that anybody could make this pie crust. So with no further ado, we are going to turn it over to my mom. Her name is Wanda, and she is going to tell you, she's going to show you, not just tell you, she's going to show you how to make a perfect pie crust. Are you ready? Okay, Mom.
I'm ready. Okay, so this is true. Anybody can make a pie using this method. And if you've ever had problems putting your pie crust on and it breaking and cracking or being so tough, this will take care of that problem. So we're going to start. You can use any recipe you like. So if you have a favorite recipe, use this. I'm going to use just the classic recipe. It's 2 cups of flour and 2/3 cup of shortening. And your shortening is important. You can either use lard or good quality shortening. Because if you use a very bad quality shortening or if you use margarine that has water in it, you're going to end up with a tough pie crust no matter what you do, because your shortening is important. And then a teaspoon of salt, and that's basically all that goes in there except for a little bit of water later on. And then you're going to need a pie cutter, one of these. You can also use 2 knives and go back and forth, but these are not very expensive, and this makes all the difference as far as making it easy. So you're just going to press the shortening into the flour, and you want to do that and keep going for quite a while until it gets nice and flaky. Oh, I forgot mine in the refrigerator here. It should look like cornmeal. So I'm going to try to give you a vision of that. Can you see it good? Looks like cornmeal. All of the shortening is cut into the flour, and none of it has little pieces of shortening anymore. It's all cut into the flour. So you continue doing that until all your shortening is cut in. And then you're going to take it and you're going to put in 7 milliliters of very cold water. So I said 7 milliliters, I mean 7 tablespoons. Now this might depend on if you have if you're in a climate that's very moist, you might use a little bit less. I'm in the desert, so I'm going to use all mine. And you pour it in here, and then you take a fork or a spatula and you just work all of this water into your pie crust until it's all absorbed. And then when you're finished with that, you're going to take an ordinary grocery bag, plastic grocery bag here, that you take your groceries home in, or your whatever, and you're going to cut it open. So you're going to cut open the flaps, and you're going to cut it open along the sides until it lays completely flat, like one big sheet here, like this. You're going to lay it out on the counter, and then after you have all of your shortening pie crust mix put together, make a dough. You want to try to keep from handling the dough as much as possible because a good flaky pie crust likes cold shortening, and the more you handle it, the warmer the shortening gets, and then you kind of ruin that a little bit. So try to keep from handling it as much as possible. So after you get it all worked in, you're going to take it out, a big wad of pie crust here, and you're going to, this is enough for 2 pie crusts, top and bottom, and so you're going to divide it into 2 and put one of them back. And then you're going to make a ball on your plastic bag that you opened up. You might want to say, what's the plastic bag for? It's for two things. It's going to keep you from having to use any more flour on your pie crust. If you've ever made a pie crust and it keeps sticking to the counter, so you add more flour, and pretty soon your pie crust is really tough and dry because you've added too much flour. Or if you've had it rolled all out and it's just perfect, you try to pick it up and it breaks all to pieces. That's because also the flour. So you're going to pat it out. See if I can get you to see the. This is hard. There you go. Can you see it yet? There we go. So little round of pie crust here. Looks like a little plate here. Okay, and it's on one side, and then you're going to take the other side of the bag and you're going to fold it over the top so that your pie crust is in between both of the bags. And then I always anchor it down with my stomach so that the bag doesn't move around all over the counter when you're trying to roll it out. And then you're going to roll. And I always move my thing around so that I get it nice and round. You keep rolling it out. Until you get it just the right size for your pie plate that you're going to use. Almost there. Okay, and then you're going to take off the top. And so your pie crust is now, you can touch it. Then you're going to take your pie plate and you're going to turn it upside down on top of that pie crust. And it should extend at least a ½ inch beyond in order for it to be big enough. Okay, now the showing you what I'm doing is hard. Maybe I'll just explain it. You're going to take your hand and you're going to slide it under the plastic that is sitting on the counter. And you're going to pick it up like this. See how it's inside the pie plate? But the plastic is over the top. So you still have the plastic on your pie crust. Then you're going to, while the plastic is still there, you're going to mold it to your pie plate all the way around. And then very carefully, you're going to remove that plastic from the top. And you want to do it real carefully because this can still rip your pie crust if you're not careful. But once you get it away from the edges, you can just peel it right off. Okay, there we go. All right, now your pie crust is very perfectly on. You're ready for your filling. Mine's apple. And you're going to just carefully put the filling inside the pie crust. Okay, there we go. There we go. All right, we're going to set it aside because we got another crust we've got to put on top here. Set it aside over here. Now we're going to do this again. And that's good because it's going to give you the opportunity to watch this process one more time. I want to say when you're using a grocery bag, make sure that you're rolling it out on the side, on the inside, because on the outside they have writing usually, and the ink will rub off on your pie crust. If you do it on the outside, and then you might have something like Winco or Walmart or something on your pie crust, and you don't really want that. So. Okay, so once again, I've made my little plate, my little round of pie crust. I've put it on my bag. I've put the top on the bag, and now I'm rolling again. And I'm rotating the bag around as I'm rolling so that it gets round and it doesn't all roll out in one direction. The nice thing about this is when you're all done, if you end up with a little bit of pie crust left over, then you can take that pie crust and you can put it in a baggie. And if you have another pie later, you can use it, you can freeze it, you can keep it in the refrigerator up to a few days. And then, or you can make pie crust cookies with it, leftovers. Okay, almost there. Just a little bit longer. Oops, sorry. Okay, now I've got it all rolled out. and I'm going to pull the top off, and I'm going to do something else. I'm going to pull the top off and put the top back and flip it over and take the top off of the back before I stick it on my pie crust. It'll make it easier when I put it on. And the top is a little bit trickier than the bottom because you've got to get it just the right size, and you got to get it onto your apples or your filling, whatever. Okay, so here it is. I can't turn it upside down on this one because I've the spill all my filling out. That's obvious. Before you stick that on, you're just going to take a little bit of water and you're going to go around the outside edge of your pie crust on the rim. That is going to seal your pie crust so that when you stick it in the oven, hopefully anyway, it's not going to boil all over your stove and make a mess. Okay, so now here I have it. I'm going to center my pie crust with the plastic still on the back. Don't take it completely off the plastic because the plastic gives it stability and strength. And you're going to center it over your pie crust, and you're going to just flip it over the top. Now, the good thing about this is if you didn't get it exactly right and you have apples showing on one side and you say, well, this pie crust isn't centered, it's not in the right spot, you can simply reach in there and pick it up again, and it's okay because the plastic gave it the stability that you needed, and you didn't have to worry about that. And it's not going to rip. Okay, you can pull it around. You've still got to be a little bit careful, but you can pull it around and move it around a little bit. Okay, now I think I have it just about right here. Okay, and then you're just going to take off the plastic, and you're going to cut it within about a ½ an inch all the way around, and then you're going to crimp it under. I don't know if you can see this. It's hard to get it to where you can see it. You're going to crimp it under all the way around, and then you're going to take your fingers like this, and you're going to press it down all the way around your pie. And then once it's sealed and pressed down, you're ready to put it into the oven, and you're going to have a nice, yummy apple pie coming out perfect every time. And here is another nice thing. My counter is all clean. All I have to do is take this, wad it up, and throw it in the garbage. My rolling pin's clean, my counter's clean, everything's clean because I did all my work on something you get to throw away. So I hope this helps you as you make your pie crust. It will definitely make a difference on how they turn out. Thank you.
Well, thank you so much. And like I said, I've actually tried this several times. My mom showed me this a couple of years ago, and and I've been making awesome pies ever since, and it definitely works. And so I will definitely be using this technique this Thanksgiving and Christmas to make perfect pies for my family. And so I know that if you give this a try, you're going to be very impressed with the results. So thank you so much, Mom, for showing us your awesome apple pie or pie crust hacks, because these are just going to revolutionize the way people make their pies now. So thank you so much for watching, and I hope that this has given you some tools to be able to make an awesome pie crust this holiday season. So have an awesome, awesome day, and go make your pies.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving.